What's up? Starting up the game. I can log into the right data center and all that. Cool. Look at that, your name's right there on the screen. Right there on the screen. Oh, I forgot my shades. There we go. Game up. A plus. Now I look good. Let's go. Back to Mordona. Answering rising stones. Yes, a win for the Sea Serpent battle. And a loss for that guy that keeps trying to claim credit for fighting primals. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word that if there are any developments. Until such a time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on what is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns the etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mughal the XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yeah, I did kill him 2 patches ago. Yet all is not well in the Twelves Wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation. And I would have you... Cilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Mulda, this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to forward them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the 7th heaven awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap it was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Cilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Magnarmus, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Hey. No. To the seventh heaven, which is right on our front door. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Menphilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Well, be praised, it is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, Antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off scraps of old off for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one we got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as would sully his soul sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us. Up, they climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where, and then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? You'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. So it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go! You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? No, it was Snape. I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild and apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right, why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady? We are not the ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino, and quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalima will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Magnarmus. And back we go.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist.
Oily boys.
Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry.
Food is here.
The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest. Nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good, then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Raban has to say upon the matter. Alright, let's go talk to Chaticus. Old Chaticus. That was not a good time, Captain Darkblade. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphino, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Charugens. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remained throughout the Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root caught the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow, and they are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, not only with butcher knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between Ul'dan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away, but would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well, my point, General, is that the powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. Someone obviously gave them the guns. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim without necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists could accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Magnarmus. Therefore, I propose that we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I've no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Yeah. You look as though you have something to say, Captain Darkblade, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. For such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual, even one with ties to the flames, may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the blades posted there. And off we go. And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Oh, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like the merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but obviously opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Right. I didn't expect them to send you, Magnarmus. I take this means that someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return. I am increasingly concerned that Zawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest idea what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Then I ran to his exact location. Ah, don't hurt me, I'm not one of them. Wait, I know your face. You're not the man from the Church of Saint Adama Landama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric begged you to speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. Well, be praised for that. Because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell. But not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed? Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that was not alone in surviving. Yet, I no doubt that the merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Why haven't you run away with me? We could have escaped together, then you'd be here with me, here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Now, bud. Calm down. Tell me what the hell happened. Who are you and what do you want? Aye, it's true, I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, what you must take, he said. We asked how. He revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But then the flames found us. We didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting. And the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and, oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of the Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate than try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our case was righteous, and the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. So if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins in combat, and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one man. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Okay. So I gotta go beat some ass. Stop them. Wait, you guys were invited to a birthday party? Seven hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lad, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Who are you now? Bonk. Bonk. And a bonkening for you. And a bonkening for you. And you get one. Oh. Oh. Well, you guys tried. I beat them all with my shield. Captain America, that bitch right at him. You beat him like it was nothing. Oh, almighty, what are we gonna do now? Alright, I gotta go back. Scoop your friends out of the water while I'm gone. Gave him the bonkening. I have completely demoralized him like you asked me to. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What are the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Oh yeah, the beating they took. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? He wasn't there. But where else could he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. The merchant was to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in the pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease this mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Yep, so basically, he's tricking all the protesters to riot so that the immortal flames go around and kill them all. An excellent psyop if I ever seen one myself. Fortunately, I'm gonna have to put his shit down. You seen any merchants around trying to tell you all to start rioting? Have you seen my parents? Unless I just beat their asses in a cave. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Hey, mister, are you looking for someone? Looking for that merchant you're talking about. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Look over there, I think that's him. Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? Ooh, me, pick me, pick me. I'll be your next victim. Come over here. You're gonna hit my fist with your face. Get away! He's getting away. Go after him, mister. He was jumping after the merchant. Ooh, pick me, pick me, pick me. I'll be your next victim, come here. Hey, summon up your demons, give me a hug. There he is. What's up, you little shit? You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations? None! No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of the argument, let's say I did go do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a kicker's ass about politics. It was business, only business. We both know that I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. I failed my job. Escort quest accepted. Escort quest failed. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Well, all's well that ends well, right? Hold on, there's some, like, dead body left over here. Here we go. Take care of some of that. Go, alright, sweet. A little bit more of that. Alright. Old adventurer, I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe this murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one for whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. And he lets me get away scot-free. Most likely because I'm wearing a sword and shield and that man was killed with an arrow. Escort quest accepted. Escort quest failed. What news, Captain Darkblade? Where's the merchant? Well, he was shot. Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell. He was not simply murdered, Captain, he was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. Yeah, it was the Monetarists. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you return. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphano has already been informed. Should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Go speak with Bart. Alright. You know, Bart was pretty mean in the last patch. We've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities.
Cool.
You've made great strides
chance to eat
towards
my
quelling
potato.
violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Another
Power
Death
enough
Star,
to
yes.
subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
Now he
It
knows
would
they're
seem
onto
the
him.
implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
I should be glad to know the truth. And yet, the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Captain Darkblade. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartano. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children! Is that Barty? Nope, that's not Barty. I'm sorry! I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? He's the one that pointed the merchant out to me before he got shot. So he visited Stone Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see. So no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by the pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. Legion of Garly and Ether-starved Primal. Even dealing with an Asian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for a strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap time has come for a change. Magnarmus, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll at due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Well, I was called to the Twelveswood, so I gotta stop dealing with this refugee crap. The Twelveswood, then the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Ixal activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Go, Magnarmus. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. To the Rising Stones. Alphina's going to go babysit. I'm going to the Rising Stones. Babysit. And Minfilia says, "It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Magnarmus. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing." Yeah, it's pretty boring, too. These guys attacked me and they were completely weak. Clearly, the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Summon the scions. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you if were it not so urgent. The business then. I have received some of the most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramuh. I'm sorry, may have? Then it is not certain? The Elder Seed Seer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Oh, give me the antecedent, but the fact that need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramuh is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. We are not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements. If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, it would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure if it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon, you foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it? I told Papalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory? They already summoned Ramuh once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came trampling through the forest. As long as Castramorians and stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained in the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Uldad drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. It is like that the Sylphs perceive this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quicken their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the Kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, I cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, regrettable development does afford us as a unique opportunity. Magnarmus, through our dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can! Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Magnarmus. Pray report to Commander Halui at Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Feel yourself for the worst while I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter. Experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. If in such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Alright, to the Adder's Nest. Let's go. Just gonna charge in there, swords blazing. Narmus of the Scions, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for eventuality, I know of one and none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seedseer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic rather than martial skills may better serve our cause. I would leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the Lotus Stand. Well, you were fucking useless. All you did was tell me to go to the other place. Could have just gone to the Seedseer to begin with and skipped your dumbass. Alright, anyway, let's go. The other Scions have already arrived? Sure, may I show you in?
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramu is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramu is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramu himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities.
They're the cabbage people. The one floating
Dear
around
friend,
right
I
there.
beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
Alright,
You
cabbage
have my
person.
thanks.
The cabbage is happy.
Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the 12
No, the
that
kickable
flinches at its
cabbage.
coming.
Huntable
All the lands
cabbage.
Vayorsia shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
The ones that say this one a lot. To Little Solace. Magnomus of the Scions. I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the primal Ramu himself an unenviable task, but for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I've been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak. That we might ascertain the location of where the Lord of Levin might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched ones summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please, please come with this one. Through the woods. Wise ones have ventured deep within the Sylph lands. These ones must proceed carefully. Keep an eye out for touched ones. Alright. This way. I'll walk up and punt one for you, okay? I'll do you a solid, all right? It. There we go. Punted. The ones that are touched are the tempered ones. The ones that are enthralled to the primal. Like this one. Right here. They're purple. I can kill as many of them as I like, it doesn't matter. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like the touch ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here. To the south. Go in safety, Walking One. And of course, there's a fate going on right on top of my objective. So it's actually you. I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with yet another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking in my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Istola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papa Limo. My apologies. It's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and am pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of Silsetherite. Come, Magnormus, the Lord of Leven awaits. Right. That's part of the game. Going around punting sylphs. Bitch slapped that one though. There it is, the crystal.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of Hyden.
Holy beard. This is no cabbage. A man with a crazy ass beard.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature.
I think he knows that I punted a couple of his cabbages.
Here portendeth tragedy. Wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges, that they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye, but there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from at home.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
ARR. Breaking. Let's go. Oh. Let the real music start first. Ready? And then I gotta kill this one. And we got him. Oops, I think I cut off a little too much.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
To the Hawthorne Hut. Teleportation time. Alright. This quest is done. I have killed the bearded man. Bearded man defeated. Whose side is he on? Magnarmus, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? He challenged me to a fight to the death, and if I won, he was gonna leave you all alone. He challenged you to a test of arms? It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. The people of both Gridania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty to this day. Magnarmus, the Elder Seedseer, must be informed of your deeds at once. Elder Seedseer will wish to hear of your experiences firsthand. Pray return to Gridania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. The Conjurer at Nofika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Magnarmus. Back to Gridania. Skill. Talk to the Conjurer. Welcome back, honored Scion. We who knew of your mission have been most anxious to see you return. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. Proceed to the Lotus Stand. Oh, we moved. We live in the Rising Stones now. Much better, less walking.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most
I had
glad
fun
am
doing
of
it.
this.
Fine.
I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you?
Well, I made trial of
there
him.
is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without.
Gridania is the city this lady rules over.
It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania, and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Magnarmus? It wasn't that daunting. I'd hoped Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless, I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seemed that Urianger too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Magnarmus? Shall we go back to the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Back to the Rising Stones. Pray return to the Rising Stones. Go. They're supposed to be daunting, yes. Welcome back, Magnarmus. Word of your momentous encounter with the Lord Ramu precedes you. I would fain share news of mine own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord Eleven, your learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. That fish guy that was like possessing his minions.
If everyone is ready, let us begin.
A lot of voice acting in this one. I'm okay with this.
Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
PowerPoint.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
On a PowerPoint, yes.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
A lot of fishmen got shot in that cutscene.
And in the claws of a Sahagin, no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection,
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Lord of Levin is returned to Ether, and as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, idol and servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Yet even as it innervates, the Ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task which we bend to our every effort. Divine deeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hand shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was your speakers in the... We have a bad storm coming. Oh. Well. Let's have a look. Oh, it's in a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. Let's see. Yeah. Oh wow, the tornado's been on the ground for an hour. Alright, I think I'm gonna wrap up stream here. Just to keep an eye on what shit's going on. I'd tell you to watch out for your windmill, Francis, but you lost that in a different storm. So... I guess I'll catch you guys next time. We'll continue this patch on Tuesday.